Chaliki Res is our YouTube channel dedicated to stories about the Cherokee Reservation. There are 14 Oklahoma counties that are on Cherokee land, and our stories take place there. Northeastern State University has sponsored a symposium on the American Indian for 49 years. And this year it is called Fulfilling Our Ancestors' Dreams. These words and pictures from April 2022 feature an excerpt from Dr. Emma Nita's spoken word, From Intergenerational Trauma to Intergenerational Healing.
Plunked into a white middle-class foster home in the best interest of the child. She's not card-carrying, the only ethnic group in the world required to prove blood quantum, and like over 60% of modern Indians is an urbanite that is, so the court determined her insufficiently Indian enough to be protected by NICWA and ICWA, and therefore the extended family and tribal preservation not considered in the placement equation. This displacement, just another in a long string of intergenerational historical trauma. The cumulative emotional and psychological wounding across generations. The best empirically studied parallel is the Jewish Holocaust and Japanese American internment camps. She heard her histories at bedtime until that fateful day when Lucy Sue never saw Elise, her Grammy, again. Historical trauma, it picks up speed as it successively accumulates like a rolling stone gathers moss to affect the seventh generation to come. Started in 1492, the discovery of an inhabited continent by a lost sailor looking for India, marking the beginning of 500 plus years of cultural, physical, emotional, linguistic, and customs genocide as defined by the United Nations. A trail of tears crossing a continent of broken treaties. The missionaries sicked upon the heathens, the infidels. The only good Indian was a dead one, or at least one that is so assimilated they're called an apple back on the res. The FBI, CIA, BIA, all agents of taking care of the Indian problem. Lucy Sue's grandparents met in boarding school, where they learned that their ways of life, language, culture, and traditional customs were meaningless. Mouths of soap for whispering "Gugeyu, I love you" to each other. Her parents never even learned to say "Osiyo," hello. You ever heard of the great Immutu Yalat? No, because you, like me, were taught the derogatory European name Chief Joseph, who said, "It makes my heart sick to think of all the good words and broken promises. Good words will not bring my children back. Let us be free to travel, to work, to trade, choose our own teachers, follow the spirituality of our fathers, free to think and act for ourselves. Spiritual and ceremonial practices outlawed until the latter part of last century when warriors of the American Indian movement, Dennis Banks, Russell Means, John Beck fought for the passage of the American Indian Religious Freedom Act. Alcohol and diabetes leaves the majority of Lucy Sue's family either dead or unfit to take her in. A commodity diet, lethally packed with fats, salts, carbs, and sugars, intentionally designed to have babies born with diabetes. You didn't know that babies can be born with diabetes. A little more subtle, but a lot more calculated than a gift of smallpox blankets, leaves Indians 3 times more likely to contract the deadly disease. Amputating limbs so that we can all fit in Procrustes' beds, just like they want us all to fit into American society. But alas, I'm not here to point fingers, nor lengthen the long list of grievances, but rather give hope to Lucy Sue. From termination to self-determination, we are sovereign nations. We retain our customs, maintain our languages. We pick up the shards and broken vines and piece together the pottery and baskets of our ancestors. Though a constant battle against Western superimposition, urbanization, consumerism, globalization, materialism, red blood beats on like the distant sound of a drum. We are not victims. We are and always will be survivors, preserving, flexible, honorable. We are taking back what is ours. Our land, our artifacts, our songs, our names. We are not Cherokee, not Navajo, not Nez Perce, not Sioux. We are Tsalagi, Dene, Chukutla, and Lakota. Through pan-Indian movements, Alcatraz, The Longest Walk, Peace and Dignity Journeys, Standoff at Wounded Knee, Little Bighorn Ride, powwows, sundances. The 49th Annual Symposium on the American Indian in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. We are joining ranks, renewing Mother Earth. Expansion of consciousness. Our communities are not our weaknesses, they are our strengths, our resilience, our youth, our women, our elders. A modern day warrior must fight with pen, not arrow. So confront, accept, release, and transcend the trauma. And little Lucy Sue will return to her people at age 27 in search of her roots, to learn her language and medicinal ways, to participate in her first sweat lodge ceremony as she moves from intergenerational trauma to intergenerational healing. Aho to all my relations.